her health bar, and it was totally gone. And I think someone ran her over. I think that's what that truck was. Somebody ran my Meryl creep over. Awesome commentary. Thank you. Thank you. I've decided, and I'll probably not actually do this. I decided I'm only reading good comments.
What else have I been doing lately?
I say this, and then I'm sure tomorrow.
Every time she pisses me off, I post it.
Because
she's addicted to torturing people.
Just to have fun.
Addicted to gambling is sick.
Are we loading?
They were serious about it. They were addicted to torturing people.
My girl was banned for defending Palestine on our stream, and she can't chat because she needs to be verified. You are one of the only streamers standing for what's right. Respect. Wait, she was banned? What the hell? Well, anyway, thanks for
definitely not.
That comment. That's if
definitely not. She made me throw up twice and scream in my ear this morning.
Bro, what?
She screamed in my ear 5 times this morning and made me throw up twice. She's not banned.
Post about it on Twitter.
As soon as I woke up this morning, I was puking.
I'm not kidding. One way that
not
small
soon.
streamers
I was having a good day.
Can get help
I posted one video.
Can get help with unfair bans because they don't have.
Ain't no way you can wait for that eye roll.
Partner managers, or they just don't have the pull with Twitch. Is to post about it on Twitter so that people can try and get some traction for it. That's so shitty.
I need to just talk to you guys, Hollywood superstars that are smart.
Also, I always like to share other content creators who have been very vocal about Palestine.
Are you so good at what you do?
Now,
You're fucking smart. I think all the actors are on my side of the brain sometimes.
Denims, Gremlo.
I think they're good at acting. The left-sided, because I was a beast at charades in school.
Sean DeBeck.
I was good at charades. And I'm like, no, do this. Come on. Why didn't you do that?
Tofu Ghost.
Like, I was always yelling in my mind at people, like, how come they didn't charade it like that? And I think Hollywood actors are good at it.
If I ever leave someone else.
So I think we might share the same side of the brain with actors and artists.
But yeah, I always
and artists.
I always think it's
you can try and make yourself an artist. You want to get to the top. You could be a decent artist. But the geniuses are the ones that rise.
Of other streamers who have been doing this work for
months. You could be a half-ass artist, not a genius artist.
Surfs TV, yep, Surfs TV.
Don't make yourself an artist, guys.
Why is this so slow? What is happening?
If you act like Nick, you're probably not an artist.
What is going on? I thought you were going to say Sean DeBaptist.
You're probably not an artist.
Whether you call her Abuela, Gramps,
I can act as an artist.
Knows a sweet treat
some people could draw, and some people could do music.
So come to McDonald's.
I could do music and act. I wonder if actors could. Sure. If they're kind of good at music too.
On the road, stuff happens. That's why AAA Roadside Assistance.
I know Jack Black is.
Shit.
What was that shit called?
And oh no, out of gas assistance.
Shit. That man's good at everything. Come on, bro. If when you were younger and had that way, tell me you weren't good at sports too, bitch.
4 million members with our lockout assistance.
I want to look at it real quick.
When the unexpected
I'm gonna put him under the bus now.
AAA to have your back with the highest rated roadside assistance. Join today.
Oh wait.
On Libra. That's all you need to know. Nothing about what I do here. No, like, yeah, I do pop culture commentary, I do news commentary, politics. No, just Caroline Kwan, Libra.
No!
That's it.
Come on, bro. You don't play ping pong? Something you're good at, like small-ass games?
That's all.
Like...
Okay, I'm gonna run, I'm gonna do a quick pee, and then...
No! Bitch! Probably good at it. Hey. Where'd chat go? Talking to when they talk to me is chat. There you chat. Chat. That's like streamer shit, right?
Guys, where's my...
When they want to avoid me, they go to chat. Like Andrea right there.
Oh, crap.
She's banned. I mean, where's the danger or rage?
Can I even get up there?
Thank you, Soda Poppin', for the 1 month. Come on.
I have to land a heli to get up there?
Come on, Andrea.
Oh, shit.
That was a lazy look, which I know. And then she's going to put her fucking sniffer up to the computer. But it's going to be me thinking it's you. But it's her putting her sniffer up to the computer. Or she just sits there.
Ladders? I don't think we have enough ladders.
Did she say, I could copy cutie? Nah, not really, bitch. You're not the same. You can't just copy somebody. I don't even care. You think you're close to cutie with just...
Where the frick is the entrance to this place?
No. You're way below. Like 50 IQ points lower to copy her. Now me! I think I can copy a cutie. Let me try it. I don't even care about copying people. That's just... Have you ever did, like, good impressions? You know those people who walk around and do impressions all fucking day long?
Can I parachute off that?
That's a lot of work to think about what the other dude's thinking about, to say what he's thinking about. I don't really like impressionists.
Oh yeah, I don't think
you have to be psychopathic or sociopathic, sorry. You have to be sociopathic to be an impressionist. That's what I feel. What's up, guys? I'm just talking to Cutie. Leave me alone.
What are those big old billboards? It had its own billboard.
Peach, you're not invited. And we're gonna be playing Smash doing this at a party. You can watch you guys' YouTube. But whoever wants to take me home. I might need a teammate though. We might have to do scrambles. I don't care. I like to play Smash sometimes. And I probably always will. Because my dad still says to my fucking brothers, set up the fucking Nintendo. My dad's 50. And he goes, set it up.
In the back of the bus sounds like a great place.
Here's your controller, Dad. Everything's perfect. So when you sit down, you got a goddamn match in front of you. Send us downstairs. Go shut it up. Oh, we got beef?
Kind of like a heated seat.
We're going to shit talk each other over the goddamn game. That's the fucked up part. And you got to stay there. Especially when you get lectured. If you get yelled at and he's fucking playing video games with you, that's bad news. You get lectured while you have to play a video game with them. I'm so doing that to my children. No. You sit there and you're going to play another game with me. He had that power. No shit, he had that power. And I'm doing that to my children. No. You're going to play another game with me. Sit your ass down and get destroyed. And then you know what happened 5 years later? We were destroying his ass. He's the one that we were saying, no. Could you ask back here, Dad? Where you going? Car was a bitch, Dad. Get your 70s ass over here. This ain't Spade Invaders anymore, bitch. This ain't Spade Invaders, Dad. You're not from the 70s anymore. This is 21st century gaming. Come on, bow to the new gamers. Just the gamers. They can bow to you.
You can push it out.
You're not being my mom, Iron Mouse. Shut up. I have dreams of my mom and dad talking to each other. I did last night, didn't I? My mom was yelling at somebody, but that was, yeah. But that's all it was. It was like a 5-second dream. I just saw my mouth from the side, my mom's mouth from the side. And when new boyfriends come over, they're scared because we're a loud family and they think we're screaming at each other. We're not screaming, we're just Italian. Get it right. We don't hate each other, we're just talking to each other. Why does it sound like Italians hate each other when talking in the family group? I don't know. I don't know why it sounds like Italians hate each other when talking in a family. Beats me. Apparently, these other families were always screaming at each other. They got used to it. Now they're like something's up when it's quiet. Which family member's pissed off? It's quiet in here. Yeah, that's when Italians are mad when they
Oh,
get
son of a
quiet.
bitch.
I hope you know that. Italians get mad when we're quiet. Uh-oh, we're not talking to them for a reason. Uh-oh, they're not talking to me for a reason. It's true. You must see a bad they won't even call you. The bad. Useless. Hopeless.
Son of a bitch. What is happening?
Got a big family. Can't avoid us all, though.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
You hate the
Come
rest of the
on.
family? No. Still gotta go to the picnics. Still gotta go to the family reunions. Southern asses. In your southern
Okay.
reunions.
We're
A
good.
reunion? Come on, dude. Saying that to a friend because he got to skip paintball.
Okay, it doesn't even give me the option.
I know that. Bloop.
Thank you for the prime.
Just wait for me.
Okay, there we go.
Go bloop.
Sucked out to the ocean, per usual. 1, 2, 3.
Who's next? I'll fly it.
Oh. Oh.
1, 2, 3.
Glitching today, boys.
1, 2. You're a god now. I think she got good at the hot air balloon. she, come on, get it! Actually, she's better than me at the hot air balloon. Just saying.
Bro, come
That's a
on.
skill that I'm asking Cutie for in our clan. I remember that when we need to get somewhere cheap,
On.
but don't want to burn all our fuel. I'll call you. Cutie, got a hot air balloon. I want to go down with that.
Dude.
Let me post this out. Are you still looking at my other words?
Okay.
That's cool. Closed. Closed.
Bro. What is wrong with this
Fabulous.
fucking thing?
Motherfucker, Emily. No, I'm just kidding. Emily, come here. I knew it was you. Sorry.
Ah.
Wasabi. Ill. That's the fake wasabi.
Have the patience of an elephant.
36. Damn, bro. That's like when I started. Okay. I think I've been watching Cutie longer. I just never followed. But I think I'm in your chat.
Oh, man.
Probably already looked up everything about my family and up A positive if I ever need blood.
Okay. Here we go.
What's your blood type, Cutie? And
Can you guys see it? What? This
I'll
video
only be your
sucks.
friend
You can't see
if
fucking around.
I could take your kidney and use it. Like, if I'm
See my
compatible
body.
like that. That's how much I
Anybody see
trust
my
people.
body?
I'm gonna do that.
Oh boy, it's
You could only be my
not the
friend if you're
ocean, not the
compatible
ocean,
kidney transplant.
Not the ocean. Oh, boy.
Sorry. I don't trust people. You have to be compatible with my kidneys. Your kidneys must match my kidneys.
Not ideal.
What's your blood type, Cutie? I just gotta have one in backup.
The flags are like
Okay, I'm
not
pretty
even
sure I'm
ready.
safe, right? Would any of you guys give me a kidney? I'd give you like half a heart if it worked.
Go.
All I need is like a blood injection just to help pump it through. Right?
Oh my gosh, we're gonna run into a problem.
I could live with no heart, right? If I just have a pump in my arm Just feeding the blood around. I still have my brain.
The humanity.
I'm
What
just
is
saying, bro.
brain?
Why do you need a pump? Like, why can't you make a mechanical one for your body? It's just a fucking
Huh?
pump. Like, literally,
Oh god.
guys, it's a pump. Can you make a rat live on a pump heart? But that's a lot. Dude, I seen someone reattach arms completely. That's a lot of veins too, bitch.
Oh, we're getting sucked out to the ocean again.
Did someone do a brain transplant last year or a couple of years ago? How'd that work? He lived for like a couple more days or something.
Just great. Just great. And I'm starving.
I want to see
Okay,
that.
we're
I want
not
to see how
gonna
that worked
do
out.
this
I bet it.
then. What did I even have? Just a gun?
There we go. The first, if you could transplant a head, you could transplant a heart, and you don't need a heart. That was 8 years ago. Yes, there we go.
Gun fuel and money?
Sorry,
I
kitty.
heard about Brandy first when I was in 7th grade. The reason why I liked it, because everyone else liked it. Brandy Melvin.
Fashion. Is that Nemo's fashion? She's coming out in
In
nail polish.
2015, Dr. Sergio Canavero, a man
Sorry.
who in no way looks
I'll
like a
post it
mad
now, Nemo.
scientist who wants to attempt a human head transplant.
Yeah, it's a
announced
different
that he
country.
was totally going to attempt a human head transplant.
Yeah, Rush.
Everyone around
Of
him
course.
was like, and believe it or not,
All
he
right,
had a
this is cool.
volunteer.
All
The
right.
guy's name was Valery Spiridonov. He was a Russian programmer with muscle wasting disease called spinal muscular atrophy, which left him paralyzed and immobile.
I like this
So
video.
yeah, when he heard that somebody was going to attempt a human head transplant, he was like, you know what? Pop this head on something better. Many of you probably already know this story. Hell, I may have already talked about it in a video before. I can't keep up with my videos. But anyway, here we
Yeah,
are now. It's
thank
been nearly
God they're
10 years
dated and
now,
not titled.
and we really haven't heard much about it lately. So I decided I wanted to revisit the story and
Sorry.
take a look at what happened, and then take a deep dive
First ever
into
just
the
to post
feasibility of the
dated
thing. Like,
YouTubes because I
what would you actually need to do to switch out your head? To get the answer, I spoke with Rohin over at Midlife Crisis, who helped put the whole
I
thing
don't
into
even need title,
perspective.
bitch.
They're doing incredible microsurgery on all the tiny structures. So you've got all of that. I mean, there's so much running through the neck. And you've got cranial nerves coming down, the windpipe, the esophagus. Every surgical discipline would need to be contributing to this. It would be a monumental operation.
And he wouldn't do it
What
by
happened
himself.
to Dr. Canavero's crazy dream?
Who was
Is
this?
it actually feasible?
Henchman.
What kind of advancements would need to be made to make it happen? And maybe the biggest question, is it a head transplant or a body transplant? The year is 1780. The place is the city of Bologna, and you're an assistant for an eccentric
if it was
professor
like-
named Luigi Galvani. When one day he
Get a
asks
body
you to bring him a
transplant.
frog for dissection.
Hold
So
up.
you fetch a
I want to be
preserved
taller,
frog,
bro.
But when you bring it to him, instead of dissection tools, you see that he's got a series
Wait.
of wires attached to a hand-cranked electric generator.
Brock
You
Lesnar.
probably roll your eyes at this because your
Ready,
boss
we're
has
in.
been obsessed with this new
I think my wife would
electricity thing
appreciate it.
for a while. He's been playing around
I could
with
borrow
it,
your body
and,
for
usually ends
a
up
couple
shocking
days.
himself, sometimes on purpose. So you're really not too surprised when he opens up the frog and
What?
attaches electrodes to the frog's nerves. You are surprised though, when
Actually,
he cranks the
he
machine.
might have a smaller ding dong. I have
And
to
the
take my
dead frog
chance.
tries to hop. At least it looks like it. The legs pump up and down uncontrollably, causing you to uncontrollably pee your
Actually.
pants. Galvani used this and other experiments to hypothesize that there's a kind of biological electricity that powers animals, including humans.
We'll see
This
which one's
comes to be
better.
known as galvanism, and it leads to a whole field of study for the next few decades. Galvani was kind of right. Human cells do have electrical action potentials, especially nervous system cells, but he was mostly wrong in how it worked.
All right, one more time.
Experiments to hypothesize that there's a kind of biological electricity that powers
is
animals,
like-
including humans. This comes to be known as galvanism, and it leads to a whole field of study for the next few decades. Galvani was kind of right. Human cells do have electrical action potentials, especially nervous
Everyone?
system cells, but he was mostly wrong in how it worked. Regardless, this whole idea of being able to control body parts and resurrecting dead tissue in electrical circuits
kinda.
eventually inspired Mary Shelley's
Especially in
Frankenstein,
muscles, you
like
just need a more
Frankenstein, of
sensitive
course, featuring
detector.
a monster that was constructed with multiple body parts from different dead people, then shocked into existence.
Kinda. That means you need something more sensitive to control it. Or read it. Bitches.
This might have been the first time the idea was
Kinda.
put on paper that a person could,
You better figure
put
that
a
one
human
out.
head on another human body and bring that body to life, even though transplants wouldn't be a thing for another 100 years.
We
It's
don't like
kinda hard to
kinda
pull off a
in the
transplant
scientific
in a
community.
time before anesthesia, when surgeries had to be done as fast as possible. Also, they didn't have antibiotics back then, immunosuppressive
Very
drugs,
close to the point.
and they didn't even understand different blood types. It would have
Yeah.
been a disaster in a
Oof.
million different ways.
Was there blood
The first
transfusions back
successful
then
organ
when they
transplant
still
was
didn't
kidney
know?
transplant in 1954, but people were actually experimenting with head transplants
That'd be a
long before
mess.
that. In fact, it was way back in 1908 when an
Oh, you have a
American doctor named
25%
Charles
chance of
Guthrie
living
did
because we don't know blood types.
some.
Just on that basis.
Okay, so look, I did a video a while back about animals in space that nobody seemed to like because it involved a lot of animals dying, including dogs. Anyway, if you're one of those people and you're a little bit squeamish about that kind of thing, you might want to skip forward a little bit because
This is a neuron video.
I'm about to talk about some dog experiments.
Oof,
Basically,
okay.
Charles Guthrie sewed the head of one dog onto another dog and made a two-headed dog.
Did it
Horrible as that
live?
may be, and it is horrible, it was also a breakthrough of sorts because he was able to prove that you could keep a head alive by connecting it to a source of blood. In fact, he actually later
conscious?
won a Nobel Prize for his research. Not specifically the dog thing, but for his research into transplant stuff, which included the dog.
How did he do that?
But he would not be the last, as Rohin points out.
So the people you're referring to is Vladimir
No, I don't care.
Demikhov in
Don't.
the Soviet
How did he
Union,
fucking do that
who
though?
was another brilliant pioneering surgeon, but did these
I know it's
he
illegal
made
now.
these two-headed dogs, some of which lived for a fair
He had to
fair amount of
attach
time, sort
just
of
the major
maybe, I
arteries
don't
and let the
get it
other
wrong,
ones
but
heal.
maybe a couple of weeks or something like that, and was the inspiration for the
Like, how many
MTV
major arteries would he
2
have to connect? Not
logo,
many.
by the way.
Oh,
Just a
funny.
little bit of trivia there. And
Sorry.
then Robert White in the 60s and 70s was the guy who again was a bit of a Sergio Canavero
The dog
character,
experiment.
said he
Sure.
was getting close and he did a lot of work on monkeys and baboons.
We'll hear more from Rohin here in a minute, but I just wanted to pause for a second and thank him for his time. If you don't follow Rohin, he's got a channel called Medlife
I like it.
Crisis on
All right.
YouTube. It's also over on
Sweet.
Nebula. It's great. It's
I
got
go take a bag.
medical advice with a healthy dose of humor. It's kind of like what I do, but he's an actual doctor. So
Oh shit! I spotted
go
a
check him
second.
out. But yeah,
Oh
a
really?
little extra context of what he was saying
You're smart
about
though.
Vladimir Demikhov and his two-headed dog thing. He actually did that experiment over 20 times.
Oh god.
He created 20 two-headed dogs. He arranged them in different ways, included more or less of the
Ooh.
second dog. Some of them included the entire front half with the,
Dude, that
with the
whatever
legs
his.
and everything. There's plenty of footage of this. Obviously, YouTube won't let me show it here. I may show it over on Nebula, but yeah, you can go look it up if you're curious. The other guy Rohin mentions was Robert White.
Scientific.
He pioneered the use of hypothermia to keep the brain stable during brain surgery, which has actually saved a ton of lives. And he did head transplants on over 30 rhesus monkeys. These surgeries were sort of successful in that the monkeys lived for a couple of weeks
Can
or
we do
8
this to a
days or
human?
so. They were conscious. They were able to respond to all kinds of stimuli. They had full control of their facial muscles. One of them even tried to bite one of the doctors.
But what went
I
wrong?
think, understandably. They weren't, however, able to control their bodies. Yeah, White's legacy is fairly complicated
Whoa.
because he actually did
So if you sew
pioneer
two
some
heads on the
amazing
one, you can't
things.
control the bodies of them.
And this is something you see from a lot
Hold
of these
up.
people. They're highly respected in their fields as pioneers and whatnot, but there's just something about the head transplant thing that just automatically
damn.
puts you in the yikes category. Which brings us back
About
to
we
Sergio
cut off those
Canavero.
neurons,
Yeah, I mean he's
like
kind of
the
gone a little bit
spinal
off the
cord,
radar in the last few
and then
years,
attach
but
the head.
essentially,
Sorry.
he's a surgeon, and by all accounts,
You
an
need
accomplished one,
a couple more discs
skillful
of that
surgeon.
spinal cord cut
Really
before you
sort of
replace the
raised a
head.
lot of eyebrows by saying that he was just a few
Because
years away. I think it's one of those things like
how
Elon Musk.
how high can
He
you cut
keeps
up?
making predictions that he's going to be doing it by a certain year, and it doesn't deliver. But clearly he was suggesting that they were very close to having a successful procedure. But if you dig a little more into what he's actually saying, his definition of success, I think, is very different to other people's.
Prove it,
E3 is
scientist.
basically freedom. It's a giant open universe
There you
where
Canavero was born in Turin, Italy in 1964, and according to him, he had a rough upbringing and a poor family, but he worked hard, and by the age of 18, he enrolled in the medical program.
Rich
at the
said anything on
University of
fire,
Turin.
right?
He graduated from there and trained in the hospital as a functional neurosurgeon beginning in the 1980s.
You get
He would then go on to
trouble
work as a
for-
neurosurgeon
that's
at
on
the
fire.
hospital for nearly 22 years. And really, by all accounts, he
That-
was an accomplished neurosurgeon. He did pioneering work on central pain syndrome and Parkinson's disease. He even became the director of the Turin Advanced Neuromodulation Group. And
Yeah,
yet,
I
in
shall study
2015,
you.
he was unceremoniously fired from his position at the university, and they cut all ties with him. For some reason.
a head transplant.
Head transplant.
Social working.
Head transplant.
Is that
Yeah, it was a severed head thing. I also feel like I should point
Something
out
that
that his
took it off?
Wikipedia page describes him as having an idiosyncratic personality. Really? The head transplant guy is a little off? Who knew?
Suburb Horizon. Social work.
Turns out he's been interested in this topic since the 80s, but he started making real plans in the 2010s. And in 2015, he published a rough description of how he'd do it. And who
That they
he'd
can't
do
do
it
anything
to.
about.
That man was Valery Spiridonov, who I mentioned at the beginning of this video. So Valery's story seems to have played out.
Just
like
came
this.
back.
He was 33 years old when he signed up for this. That was in 2015.
Back
And his
into
body was
disease.
still deteriorating from a condition called Wernicke-Hoffman disease. He went from being a healthy, normal dude to having trouble walking, having trouble writing, and he just kept getting worse and worse until he was confined to a wheelchair and he had to have almost everything done for him. Now, I
Is
can
that the
only
music road?
imagine
Sorry.
what that would be like in the mental state that would put you in. And I don't want to say that he was ready to, end it all or anything like that. But, with his body getting
He got-
progressively
no,
worse,
not
he
ended
may
up.
have feared
I'm gonna
what
give
was
it
coming
everything
with
I
his
got.
condition more than what he feared might happen in the surgery. Now, when Cannavaro first announced the surgery, he described it as imminent. But, after his announcement, he lost his position at the University of Turin. He had to find another
Why?
home base to do this from, and he
Oh,
found one in China.
he was following
Harbin
this,
University,
and they
specifically,
banned
where
from
an
it.
orthopedic surgeon named Xiaoping Ren had been doing similar research. This relocating and further research kind of pushed back the imminence of the surgery by a few years, and while Valery was waiting, something kind of amazing happened. First of all, his body kind of stabilized. His disease stopped progressing. Now, that might be an overly optimistic way of saying that it got as bad as it was going to get, like it couldn't possibly get any worse.
Stop.
But, it wasn't getting any worse, and he kind of learned to live with it. Second of all,
Yeah.
dude got married. Yeah, he met a woman named Anastasia Panfilova.
Damn.
They fell in love and got married. This is a picture of Anastasia.
Nuh-uh. You're a
She
liar.
married him.
Mwah. Like, I wish.
Oh, and she's also got a master's in.
Good for him.
Oh, and she's also got a master's in.
He must be a really good
chemical
dude.
engineering. So she's also super smart and accomplished. And
God dang it.
yes, they are married.
What's he seeing her? She seeing him? Ooh, I don't care.
Yeah, he dropped out.
He had a
of
good
it.
face though.
So my choice
Yeah.
is where I could spend the rest of my life with a hot.
Look at his face though, bro. He's actually a handsome dude.
Yeah, he dropped out of the surgery.
He's
So
actually
my
a handsome
choices are I
dude.
could spend the rest of my life with a hot Russian chemical engineer, or I could have my head cut off by Dr. Nosferatu over here.
All right.
Hmm,
I'll stay with you for a couple more years.
I don't know.
Cake or death.
No, all kidding aside, they are happily married. They have a kid together. They now live in Florida, and he runs his own software company.
That is
He
so fucking awesome.
living his best life.
You got
and
lucky,
yeah, in
bitch.
2019, he
You would've
dropped
lived
out
2
of
days.
surgery.
Say it.
So he does still support the mission. So the head
Yeah.
transplant dream is dead.
For
right?
somebody like him in his situation, supports it.
Does this look like a guy who
Maybe.
gives up on things? Ren and Cannavaro's research continued throughout the 2010s, and they produced some amazing results.
But then,
For one
you
thing,
know,
they claim to have successfully
he could
done
say I
a
overcame this
transplant on a
disease.
rat. It was
And
kinda
didn't
more like a
progress
dog
if you
experiment,
have
though.
it.
They just kind of sewed one rat's head onto
So
another
if he
rat's
has it,
body,
he could say,
and,
if you have the
yeah,
same
it only
disease,
took 36
don't get a
hours.
head
But
transplant.
Cannavaro claimed it as a success because he said that the goal was to minimize the amount of blood loss. Yeah, I'm finding
Oh,
that
God.
success is a very malleable term when talking about head transplants.
Oh, God.
Even more impressive, in 2017, they actually did perform a human head transplant on cadavers. And
Oh.
it was successful. Obviously, neither of the participants survived the surgery because they were dead before it started, but by successful, they mean they were able to fully perform the head transplant protocol that Cannavaro had outlined in his 2015 paper. That protocol, by the way, is called the Heaven Protocol.
Following a monster. No, just kidding.
Probably not the best thing to name something that's likely going to kill you. But it stands for Head Anastomosis Venture.
Heaven.
Yeah, the scientific term for a head transplant is cephalosomatic anastomosis.
You guys are losers.
So you know that now. And this protocol
care.
that they successfully performed on cadavers and will imminently
We'll change it to
perform
heaven
on living
later.
people
You feel me?
works like this. The donor and the recipient
We'll
are
call
brought into
it
the
something
operating room
else,
together, and both
and
are
then we'll call it
intubated,
heaven.
tracheotomized, ventilated, and stabilized, and wired for monitoring and vital signs.
Let's not do that.
ECG,
Scientific community come out with
oxygen
the correct
saturation,
term
body
that
temperature,
seems
and
like
whatnot.
death.
By the way, in the paper, the donor
We'll change
refers
it
to the
later.
body and the recipient
That's what scientists
is the
do.
head, so technically this is a body transplant and not a head transplant. Once both are anesthetized, the recipients
We
are
don't
subjected
call
to
it whatever
profound
you want for those
hypothermia through
dumbasses.
cooling helmets, as well
Not
as a
heaven.
heat exchanger applied to the femoral carotid artery. The goal is to cool the brain to around 10 degrees Celsius. The donor's body is also cool, but only the spinal column by pumping cold solutions into the subdural and epidural spaces. Hypothermia, of course, slows down the metabolic process and reduces damage to cells and tissues. Next is the whole removing
You gotta
the
get
head.
him fresh.
Two separate teams work on the body
No.
simultaneously, meticulously
They got him
separating nerves,
fresh.
arteries, and muscles,
Didn't
and laying
they?
there for reconnection later. They start with the
They put
anterior
him on a hot
part of the
plate.
neck, including the trachea and the esophagus, and then move the bodies into a prone position to do the back of the neck or the posterior.
That shit turned
This
up
is
to
where the spinal column
98
is
in the
transected,
room.
exposing the spinal cord. So the cutting and reattaching the spinal cord has its own protocol that they call Gemini. I couldn't find what that
90.
stands for, but it involves an
Six.
as of yet uninvented ultra-sharp microsurgical instrument
And a half.
called a geminotome.
I don't know.
This is sci-fi technology number one. Once the spinal cord is cut, the head is placed on the donor body as quickly as possible, and the spinal
Put the spinal
cord
cord
is
up
glued
higher
together using
with the
sci-fi
monkeys
technology number
to
two,
control the breath.
polyethylene glycol glue infused with chitosan nanofibers. This would
Ooh,
supposedly
what
have
the hell?
polyethylene is possible, and the spinal
Hey.
cord is glued together using sci-fi technology number two, a polyethylene glycol glue infused with chitosan nanofibers.
That cells
This
can flow
would
through?
supposedly have the ability to immediately reconstitute cell membranes that were damaged during the severing
That's
process.
sick.
The head is then connected to
This
the
is
donor
reconnecting
body's
cells can
circulation,
flow through
the
it
spinal
and
column
rebuild
is
it easier.
stabilized with a
Can
screw
I have that
rod
instead of
system,
stitches?
And the trachea and esophagus are stitched back together, and finally, the muscles and nerves are painstakingly reconnected
Shit.
before the neck is sewn up.
Sounds
Obviously,
expensive,
there's a
but
ton that I left out of that description. This is supposed to take
We're gonna have that in our
36
cabinet.
hours and require a staff of 130 doctors.
you're gonna have a gash in your arm.
But
Oh,
when
but
it comes down
just
to it,
pour
like
some of that
90%
out.
of this surgery is stuff that we can totally do.
Got a best
You know,
figure.
we
You
can
can
reconnect nerves
reconnect
and
it if
muscles,
you
we can
find
stitch
it.
together tracheas, we can even transect vertebrae. The thing we've never quite pulled off is the whole spinal cord thing. Hence the couple of science fiction technologies that don't exist yet.
A super spinal cord.
Or do they?
Hi, Mark
That's
Vargas,
stupid
Sandy
spinal
Hook
cord.
Promise here.
What do you guys do?
When the gunman shot his way into Sandy Hook Elementary School on December
In the interview with Valeri that I shared earlier from Good Morning Britain, they showed this footage of a monkey that, according to Canavero and his team,
Morning.
had its spinal cord severed, and they were able to fully repair it, giving it the ability to walk again. Now, I tried to verify this clip, because if they were actually able to do this, that would be huge. Like, huge, if true. Sorry, Cleo.
Is it
But I
2017?
couldn't find anything. Now, if you guys know of something that I missed, please do share it down in the comments. But as far as I can tell, this was a video that was released by Canavero and his team, and we're kind of just supposed to take them at their word. Which I find super suspicious, because these guys publish a lot of papers. Like, pretty much anytime they manage any kind of advancement, they publish it and they plaster it all over the place, but I couldn't find anything on this.
A lot.
Again, if I missed it, correct me down below. Yeah, most of the Canavero monkey headlines that I could find revolved around a transplant that they did on a monkey in 2016 that survived for 20 hours, but it never had control of its body. Successful. So, okay. If I'm going to be fair... to
That's the
Canavero
only
and
success.
Head cases. There's really two problems to overcome here. The first is just making sure that the head can be sustained by reconnecting it to a different body's blood supply.
Then you got the spinal cord
second
bullshit.
is giving that head control over the body by reconnecting the spinal cord. And they focused on the first problem first.
Well,
makes
they're gonna
sense.
get the legs one
Of course,
day,
that's
not the arms.
I don't know, kind of a solved problem.
That'll look
I mean,
like a fucked up
doing this on
monkey.
dogs back in the 50s. The second problem,
I'll go that
the
way.
spinal cord,
And
that's
it's
where
like
the
walking.
Sci-fi technologies come in. And while I couldn't find proof of that walking monkey experiment, I did find papers that they did on experiments where they claimed to have done this with rats. Canavero's solution to this, the stitching
Yeah,
together
why
of
didn't
the
they
spinal
start with
cord,
rats?
traditionally has been to reconnect it using polyethylene glycol, which Rohan explains the problem with this.
Polyethylene glycol actually
rubber,
is
is-
mostly used as a laxative. That's its most common use.
I had a colonoscopy. I'm very familiar with that. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. So it's not like some
No.
high-tech liquid, right? It's basically just gloopy glue, and that is Canavero's technique, is just to.
Is there anything
now,
better
what he's
that could
based
flow
it on is
through?
there is some experimental research
glue?
suggesting that it may encourage neuronal development, so it may have a role in nerve repair. Absolutely, but to just
Make it
say
more-
you're going to whack it on and stick.
I don't know,
the spinal
electrically
cord, which is orders of
Large, I
magnitude more
guess? I
complex
mean,
than a nerve
oh,
in the hand.
your electrical neurons can flow through it.
It's this magical thinking.
Yeah.
Now, there has been a twist in recent years, and I found out about
Conducts
this a couple
electricity,
earlier, I already
too.
brought it up there, but
Would that help?
There's a new type of PEG that they used on those rat experiments that I talked about that might actually hold some promise. It was invented by a guy named William Sikkema. He's a Rice PhD candidate in biomedical nanotechnology.
Did they put the glue on the whole thing?
Polyethylene glycol substrate containing
Like-
carbon nanofiber ribbons that he called Texas PEG.
The whole goddamn.
Because Rice
Big
University's
is glued.
innocent. In a talk for Ideacity, Williams showed how these rats had their
Alright.
spinal cords severed and how the ones that were treated with the graphene nanoribbons made almost a full recovery. And according to William, the way this works is that the nanoribbons provide a kind of a lattice work that the damaged neurons can use to cross the divide and reconnect and heal together. Apparently, when nerves get severed, they reach out in thin spikes that make it hard for them to connect.
Hell yeah.
Plus, the graphene is electrically conductive, so that
Thin
allows
spikes
signals to
so
bridge
you
the gap
could.
while it's healing. So look, head transplant stuff aside, if this Texas PEG stuff could really repair spinal cord injuries, this would be a massive game changer and
Stop
something
using
to get really
rubber.
excited about. Luckily, William's been continuing his research at Rice University, and he's under the mentorship of James Tour, who has been accused of publishing fraudulent papers and hyping breakthroughs that don't exist and vocally doesn't believe in.
Alright, Hassan. The fuck out of here.
Have you ever researched a topic and been convinced you're taking crazy pills? Every time I think I've stumbled on something legit, it just nopes itself back into crazy town.
Nah.
It almost goes without saying, but this entire thing has been
Bye, Hassan.
overwhelmingly criticized by the medical and scientific community. Bioethicist Paul Root Wulp from Emory University said that it, quote, walks a fine line between medical care and murder should the attempt fail. Jan Schnupp, professor of neuroscience at City University of Hong Kong, said, quote,
That's what they
I
sign
would
off
really
on.
like the general public to be reassured that neither I
When they
nor
have
any
no
of my
fucking
colleagues
hope.
think that beheading people for extremely long-shot experiments is acceptable. It is not. The
No.
president of the American Association for Neurological Surgeons
You
said
die
in
tomorrow.
2015, quote,
I don't know.
I would not wish this on anyone.
You pull
I
the
would
plug,
not allow anyone
yeah,
to
head
do it to
transplant.
me, as there are a lot of things worse than death. And bioethicist Arthur Kaplan of New York
There's a lot of
University
things
said,
worse.
They haven't done enough animal studies to
But-
persuade anyone that they actually know what they're doing.
How do you
It's
know?
sort of a long, endless publicity.
That's a joke.
And I could go on, but
Please
that
don't
last
use
one
those
is
words
really,
again.
Something that I've seen a lot.
Please don't say
this whole thing, that it's not science.
a lot of
it's
things
big
worse than
publicity
death
campaign,
because we don't know.
ultimately he's trying to raise millions of dollars to perform this surgery. He apparently even reached out to Mark Zuckerberg, trying to get him to send him money. But the scientific community has roundly condemned.
We all
this.
see the movie where they're like,
He
death would be
lost his
better, and they're
position
like,
at Tsinghua
no!
University, and while he was given an honorary position
Bitch,
at Harbin
that's what we
University
grew up on.
in China, apparently they gave him the
You
boot
just
too.
be
a couple
saying that
times.
shit.
He's gone fairly quiet since then. He claimed
Look,
to have a
everything I
long
know
list
in
of
life,
volunteers
stood away.
since Valeri dropped out, and that he's continuing his research in an
You gotta hold on for your
undisclosed
family,
location. It's probably an underground
not for
lair.
yourself, scientist.
If anybody's got an underground lair in an island somewhere, it's this guy.
If that's
in
what it takes.
2022, he published a paper claiming
Lot
that he's
of
figured
things.
out a way to do just a brain
Worse than
transplant.
that.
So
Not when you leave your family.
yeah, if you can't get something done, just claim you can do something even wilder. Seriously, crazy pills. But Rohin had a pretty good idea
I'll
of how
post
he
it for
would
him.
do this surgery, so I'll give him the last word.
It's not gonna be
I
taken down.
think for this to work properly, you would need to be able to support essentially like a brain in a jar. I think we would need to get to that level of sophistication, and then maybe transplant the entire.
We know where
brain
language
and
comes from.
spinal cord. And then you get round
A piece of the
problem
damn brain
trying
to
to
someone who
repair the
can't
spinal
talk.
cord.
How about we start with that?
And then you just have to.
Someone who
attach
can't
all
talk, muted for life.
peripheral nerves.
You
which
think we could
would
take
be,
a cut
again,
out of
enormous.
a
But I wonder if
a speaking region?
fin-
The
Mortal
la
Kombat finishing
is
move,
it the
take the whole
such an
spinal
L?
cord out and
Limbrosic system?
and then plonk that
Sorry.
in.
So will head transplants ever actually be a
Right.
thing?
Cut
I mean,
that
along
out. Put it
the
in mine
timeline,
first.
pretty
In a
much
rat.
Anything's possible, but the big hurdle
Limbic
has to be
system?
solving the spinal
No.
cord injury thing. Which, if that
Yeah,
could
you
be
need to work on your
solved,
limbic system too.
it would be
bitches.
huge for so many people around the world. Maybe the carbon nanoribbon thing could get us there, and that would be amazing. But you know,
Uh,
given how sketch everything else has been in this story, I have my reservations. Sketchy, but also just hype. A lot of hype. There's a lot.
work
of
on your
hype.
limbic system.
My take is until
They
we
don't
solve the
mind.
problem
Boo!
with
'Cause I dance like
live
Emily.
and animals, it's just way overstepping right now. It's just doing
Sorry,
it to say
Emily.
you did it successfully. For now, though, it seems like the hype train has left the station. You know, that was the reason why I wanted to do this video, because I hadn't heard anything about it in a long time. You know, maybe it kind of ran its course. Maybe
Yeah, right.
ran out of options and decided to
Okay, back to it.
wait on it.
Thank
maybe
you.
Focus on the nanoribbon thing. Because I mean, hey, if
It
he
was like 3
actually
years
able
ago. I
to
was like,
figure out
wait.
a way to reconnect a spinal cord. I mean,
Thank you.
that would be history making enough.
Got me back to why
For
I clicked
that,
on
I
it.
say, Godspeed.
Thank you. Wait. Sponsor.
I'm gonna get some lunch.
Maybe for a second.
Okay, Fred.
Hey!
Time to find our perfect apartment on Zillow.
Hi, puppy.
Don't
Oh,
worry.
man.
Change will be good.
How much is that puppy? You didn't keep it,
Hey,
did you?
this one really feels.
Thankfully, unlike so many two-headed Russian dogs,
What
I
are you
have
eating?
only one mouth to feed, which is the perfect portion size for today's sponsor, Factor.
Hi, Spook
I
Kid.
can sum up why I like Factor in 3 words. I'm
Where's
lazy.
your fat belly?
I'm so lazy I didn't even come up with the third word. Not only is there literally no prep time whatsoever, you
Spookhead.
literally just poke some holes in it and put it in the microwave for 2 minutes, but there's no cleanup time either. You just
I want
toss
to see
the
him eating
container
with
in
his
the
shirt off.
recycling.
Just saying.
And
And you
maybe
better get
something
some
will get
sauce
made
on
out
your
of it.
chest.
There's also no time spent going to the store, no hunting for recipes. The food just arrives at your front door once a week or however often you
That
want
broccoli
it.
steam?
Pre-packaged, never
Okay.
frozen, and ready to eat whenever it's convenient for you. And because it's never frozen, the food is fresh. It doesn't have that weird frozen texture that you get with frozen foods. It just
I'd
tastes
eat all
like
of it, and I don't
food
even
that
like
was
vegetables.
made at a restaurant quality kitchen.
I don't even
So
like
that's
vegetables,
kinda
and I'll
what I
eat all of it.
Factor chefs work along with dietitians to make sure that the food isn't just ridiculously good, which it is, but it's also healthy.
Ooh, green bean
and they
one.
have all kinds of different options, like from vegetarian, calorie smart, pescatarian, whatever it is you're into. They
Meals
also
per
have
week.
gourmet
Ooh,
options if
you
your
6
palate
weeks.
is
Yeah,
more refined
that's
than the
actually
average
awesome.
rebel. Now, Factor's been amazing for me.
6 meals
and
a
something
week,
that I
8
never heard
meals a
people
week.
talk about is like
Sick.
decision fatigue. You know, like
That's a
cutting
lot
down
of,
on the number of decisions that you have to make every day. Because like,
What do
I
you call
don't
it?
have to spend
Logistics
time
on Factor.
searching through apps on my phone or going out.
Wait till the
somewhere and
drones
deciding
come
what
in,
to do. I
Factor.
literally just go into the fridge.
And we
I
get
grab a
delivered by
Factor,
drones
and
in
it's
the
always
city,
good, and it's
Factor.
always satisfying.
And then it'll be cheaper,
and it's just one
Factor.
less thing to worry about.
Keep it
It's
up.
actually like a mental health thing. Now, I
Can't
eat
wait.
Factor almost every
$5
day, and
bucks.
I recommend it to people all the time, like friends and family and stuff like that. And I don't even like give them my code or anything, because
I have a fucking drone
terrible
window.
businessman.
Just saying, so
But
I don't
will
have to
give
get
you
up.
my code
The drone's
because
gonna fly
you
onto
could
my
benefit
table.
from it. So when you go to
The landing pad right
factor75.com,
here.
enter JoeScott50 when you check out.
We're like, thank
you'll
you,
get
drone.
50% off your
And it's
first
gonna go
box
shoot
and
right back out my
20%
window.
off your next month of boxes. It's already less expensive than ordering from a food delivery app.
Just don't
and
record
now
my
you
room
get even more with your money.
the sex chain
So
in the
one more
back.
time, that's factor75.com. Enter JoeScott50 at checkout. You get 50% off your first box, 20% off your next
There you
month
go,
of boxes.
Factor.
Check it out.
I'll post it now, bitch.